Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We're studying 12th, 11th. You can repeat after me. Athaitat api ashakto asi.
Athaitat api ashakto asi.
Kartum madhyogam ashritaha.
Kartum madhyogam ashritaha.
Sarvakarma phalatyagam.
Sarvakarma phalatyagam.
Tataha kuru yatatmavan.
Tataha kuru yatatmavan.
Okay, what meaning? Atha, even though. Etat, this. Api, also. Ashaktaha, unable. Asi, you are. Kartum, to perform. Mat, unto me. Yogam, in devotional service. Ashritaha, taking refuge. Sarva karma, of all activities. Phala, of the results. Tyagam, renunciation. Tataha, then. Kuru, do. Yatatmavan, self-situated. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So I'll start the purport and we'll try to understand. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalaka Chakshunuritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Prabhupada is writing here, it may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial or religious considerations or because of some other impediments. The point is what we're discussing in these verses are Krishna is giving us options. He is anxious that we should get back to him, although we are not. Just like parents are anxious for the child that they should become, they should be financially stable when they grow up. They should be educated. But child is just enjoying. He doesn't care, It's like Alejandro. So you are worrying so much, but anyway, he doesn't know how much you are worrying about him. He has his own life. Or your small child, Fernando. What the heck is happening? You are simply thinking about him. So similarly, we are leading our lives, we are just enjoying our lives, but God is thinking about us. He's thinking about us. How should we perfect our lives? That's his anxiety. So we say God is full of all bliss. He's full of all bliss, but at the same time, at the corner of his heart, he is having some anxiety, and that's why he sent his saints to this world, no? He sends scriptures, and he sends people so that we can have faith in him. He sent people who have realized him. Evidences, okay, fine. If you don't have faith, these are the people who have realized me, who have seen me. See them. So, he's trying his best. Of course, he can make impossible possible. But at the same time, we are obstinate. That's the problem. We don't want to understand. We don't want to follow what he says. Understanding comes by following. It doesn't happen that first you understand and then you follow. It doesn't happen like that. You follow and then you understand things. No? It's there. In subjects also it's like there. You take a subject, mathematics. You don't understand anything when you enter mathematics. If you go to higher mathematics, you don't understand any damn thing. Suppose in medicine I took a machine medicine. and could understand anything in anatomy, anterior, posterior, you can't understand what are the relationship of nerves, and it was so difficult. But then slowly, teacher said, keep on following, you'll understand. That's a process. So we have to follow, we have to have faith, what Krishna says, follow it, and you get the result. Simple. Not a big thing. Now, this is a theme Krishna is developing from 12th chapter, 8th verse, 9th verse, 10th verse. Now we are on the 11th verse. In 8th verse, Krishna says, highest perfection of life is, you are always thinking about me. We trained our mind to think about Him. How is it possible that we always think about Him? Do we have to do our housework, jobs? Should we leave everything to always think about Him? No. You can do everything, but still you can be thinking about Him. It's possible. Just like a boyfriend and girlfriend. Boyfriend is doing everything, but he's always thinking about girlfriend. No, in the back of his mind, he's conscious. Or we are doing so many things. A businessman might be doing this, multiple activities, but at the back of his mind, he is thinking about money. Is it? So similarly, if you're trained, you can be doing so many things externally, but your mind is always fixed on God. You get distracted by things, although you're doing things. Get my point? So that is always thinking. But that's difficult because we get distracted. We forget, is it? You forget. So Krishna says, okay, no problem, you forget, okay, fine. Now you train. I give you a process for training your mind. And what's that process? That is process of devotional service. Okay? And that starts with hearing about Him and chanting His names. It starts with that. And then you can do many other things for Him, preaching, book distribution, cooking. So it starts with that. Okay, do this. If you do this, your mind gets fixed. Okay, fine. Now you say, I can't even do that. It's difficult, no? I can't follow this process. I can follow this process whole soul. I can't chant 16 rounds. I can't always come in all the programs. I have my constraints. Just like you have family constraints. Yesterday you couldn't come. Okay, fine. Now, many people have so many problems. This is an age of quarrel and hypocrisy and problems. Unnecessary problems, not necessary problems. There are some necessary problems. Hunger, thirst, you have to solve these problems. But there are many unnecessary problems which actually should not be there, but they are there. Unnecessary fight between husband and wife. It should not be, but it's there. They are fighting. Husband is fighting with the wife. Why did you put this toothpaste here? Wife is saying, come on, it should be there. Just trivial things they are fighting. No? So you don't have to have those problems, but still you're having. So there are many problems. Minds are disturbed. People are disturbed in this age. So small things are becoming big. They're not happy, peaceful. So okay, fine. If you have unnecessary problems, fine. So Krishna gives another option. 12th chapter, 10th verse. He says, okay, fine. If you can't follow regulatory principles fully, try to follow whatever you can. At the same time, try to help those who are following this process whole soul. Try to help them. People who are preaching, last verse we discussed, people who are preaching, you help them. Whatever you can, you help them and follow whatever you can to your best. Slowly you will advance. No problem, I'll help you. Now if you say, I can't even follow rules and regulations, I can't come to program, I can't do any damn thing. So, is there any other option? You can't read, you can't chant, but you are a good person. Like, you are a good person and you say, I want to do this process, I want to hear, but, frankly, I don't have time. Because some people are struggling for food. Is it? We might get food, easily. So we don't think about how much difficult it is to get even one chapati. For some people, one chapati, one toti. One toti was it?
Toti.
Yeah. So one toti is a project, It's a project in their life. Even if they get 1 roti at the night, they have to struggle so hard to get that. No, there are people. There are 90% people are like that. They are below poverty line. They can't think of anything. First you get food, then you think something. How do you think? So for them, is there no option? Krishna gives an option for them here in this verse. And he says here, that the first line, it may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness. That means a person is not able to do anything. He can't even help people who are Krishna conscious, no? Because of social, familial, religious considerations. Some people cannot do some people cannot follow religion and spirituality because their family is dead against it. Many times it happens, and some people are really against, they don't allow. I have seen in many places a person is trying to understand. He wants to understand. He wants to understand, but his parents, his family members, they beat him, they lock him. It can become a very big thing. But what he wants to do. So, what's the option? He wants to do, but is there any option? So, okay, Krishna is saying, fine, let's see. Because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or many other difficulties, no? There may be objections. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated results of his activities to some good cause. Now, if you cannot take to devotional service, if you cannot do anything, Krishna says, if you can't become a devotee, at least be a good person. At least that much you can do. This is not to say that you don't do devotion and become good person. You understand? He's not advising, okay, fine, now I can't do devotion, so I'll do good person. No, that's the last option. Is it? If there's a fire in the house, what do you want? You want to run escape? No. If there's a fire, what's the first action you will take? Just get out of the house. That's all, finish. There's a fire. You want to, but if you can't escape, then there are other options, no? Okay, if you can't escape, then maybe you take water and try to extinguish fire and all those things. If you can't extinguish fire, then what do? Then the last resort is jump from the window, even if you're on the top floor. You might die, but anyway, it's better to break your bones rather than be burnt alive. That's more painful. So jump from the window. So, but if you can escape from the house, will you jump from the window? No, come on. You can just go out of house, You don't jump out of window. That's the last resort. So Krishna is saying, if you cannot take to devotion, if you want and if you cannot take, that's the point. People who do not want to take devotion, that's another thing. They'll not do anything. But people who want to understand God, they want to, but due to some cause they are restricted. For them, the last resort is at least be good. Be good. You understand? So it's not a rule. It's a last option. But if you can take to devotion, well and good. That's the best thing, because by doing devotion, you automatically become good. You have to become first good and then devotion. Wait for a time when impediments are gone, and then you take to devotion. Because if you're good, then it is easy to take devotion. If you're doing bad things, sinful, then it's difficult to take devotion. No, it's difficult. So, okay, this is the option. You try to lead your life good. When the time comes, when impediments are gone, always impediments will not be there. This word is like that. Problems come, they go. They come, they go. No, time solves things. We say, doctor treats, he cures. So time takes things. If you have a disease, either you can take medicine or you can wait. So it is said in a medical field, our teacher used to say. So for fever, you take medicine, aspirin or paracetamol. I don't know what you have. Trentol, what's that? What you say? Tylenol. You take a medicine for fever. So it is said in medicine, in medical, that if you take a medicine for fever, it takes 7 days for you to cure. Fever to fully go away, it takes 7 days. You keep on taking medicine twice a day and slowly it will go. To fully recover, fully fresh. And if you don't take medicine, sorry. If you take medicine, for you to cure, it will take 1 week. If you don't take medicine, it will take 7 days. That's what he used to tell. Physician, I was a physician, so I used to tell, come on, 1 week is 7 days. So that's the point. If you don't, time cures. If you leave the disease like that, if you can tolerate little bit, a body will heal. It will heal. But the point is, now today people have no tolerance, Okay, I have problem, take medicine and then finish it off. No tolerance. Why they want to finish the disease quickly? Because they want to enjoy quickly, I have problem, take medicine. I don't want to stop my enjoyment. Let's enjoy again. If you have acidity, acidity. You take a medicine, you get some food, get acidity, take some medicine, get rid of acidity, again start eating food. And then doctor will say, come on, you'll end up ending acidity again. No problem, why you're here, he come back to you. He give us medicine again. So there's so much into that mood of enjoyment that they can't think that even without medicine, by little tolerance, you can become okay. Without actually getting side effects of those medicines. Everybody knows medicines have side effects. It's foolish to think that they don't have side effects. So, you see, if Krishna says, if you can't take to devotion, if you want, at least be good person. So by becoming good, there are chances that one point of life, all these problems will go away. When you suppose a female is there, she has a child, and people are, her family members are not allowing her to do so many things, but she wants to understand. And the child is small, she has to take care of baby and so many things, So, okay, fine, wait for a time. Be good. Wait for a time when your child will grow, he will become elder, he can handle himself, you will become old, and things will calm down, no? At that time, you will be given opportunity by God to take to devotion. What do? There is no option, no? So, that's what is the Krishna's advice. For one who has such problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated results of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices, special functions for full moon day. There is special work in which results of one's previous actions may be applied. Thus, gradually one becomes elevated to state of knowledge. So, in Vedas, in scriptures, there are some good activities advised. You can do some good activities. See, how to become good? Okay, fine. Krishna advises, be good. But then you should know what is good, what is bad. No, you should know what is good, what is bad. How to decide what is good and what is bad. And scriptures will tell you, this is good, this is bad. Some things you can know by common sense. Doing mercy is good. Killing is not good, of course. Speaking truth is good. Speaking lies is bad. These are universal truth. Everybody understands this. And these are universal activities which you can do to become good person. If you do mercy, if you speak truth, if you are non-violent, you become good. And then there are some special activities. These are universal activities which everybody understands. You can practice, be good. And then there are some special activities mentioned in scriptures. You can do some special activities. For example, here we just read, there are many descriptions of sacrifices, special functions for full moon day. There is special work in which results of one's previous actions may be applied. So there are some sacrifices. Sacrifices here doesn't mean sacrificing animal. Sacrifices means, in India we do yagyas. You know that? How do we say that? Fire sacrifice?
In the fire.
We put ghee and mantras you speak. So if you chant the Vedic mantras, it helps your consciousness to be situated in goodness. So that sacrifices. So Krishna says these are some special things you can do which are mentioned in Vedic things. Description of sacrifices are there. You do some sacrifices. It might appear, So if you do that, if you chant mantras, your mind will become pure. Pure by that. You will have positive energy with you, no? So you can do that. Special functions for full moon day. There are some sacrifices which are to be done on full moon day. There are some Vedic procedures you can do, special procedures. And your mind will be in mode of goodness. So okay, you can do all these things. Thus one may gradually become elevated to state of knowledge. And if you do these good things...
There's a slight difference in this one. It says special functions of punya.
Oh, okay, fine. Just work at it over here. Here it's not there. Okay, so good activities. Thus you may be gradually elevated to state of knowledge. You can find that statement? You're finding that statement or what?
Yes.
You, Sandra? Okay. You can be gradually elevated to state of knowledge. So what is the state of knowledge? What is knowledge?
God.
Knowledge of God. Knowledge of devotion. So if you keep your mind in goodness, one day your problems will get reduced by time, and then you might be given opportunity to meet some saints, and then you get knowledge, and you can apply that knowledge, and you are in the mainstream. So that's a possibility. But if you're sinful from the first day, and if you're drinking wine, speaking lies, killing, then there is very less possibility. Even if you made a saint, there is very, very less possibility to take to devotion. You will not understand. No? Your mind is clouded with impure thoughts. If a saint meets, you might beat him first of all. You will not listen to him. So that's the point, state of knowledge. It is also found that one who is not even interested in activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital, some social institutions. He gives up his hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here, because by the practice of giving up fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. See? So there are some universal, charity, mercy. This is universal, everybody knows. It's good to help people. So Krishna says, okay, do this. If you can't take to devotion, do this. Because by charity, your mind will become pure. Now what do you mean by purity? Means selfless. You will learn what is selflessness. Otherwise, if you're just doing everything for yourself, then that's selfishness. Selfishness, any action based on selfishness, that is bad. That is how you define good and bad. Why does everybody likes this concept that we should help others? Everybody will like, no? Even what do we say? That So even underworld dons, mafias also like this concept. You should help others. No, everybody likes. It's universal. Everybody knows intuitively. We are soul. No, we know. You don't have to convince anybody. Nobody will argue that charity is bad. Nobody will argue that killing innocent people is good. Now the point is, why charity appears to us as good? Why helping others, people think it's good? No. Why it's like that? Why it's a universal phenomena? Why mercy is good? It's a universal phenomena. Why killing is bad? It's a universal phenomena. Everybody understands this. Why it's like that? Because these activities, good activities, are based on selflessness. You get my point? All bad activities are based on selfishness. So, to steal, it's bad. Is it? Why? Because you're selfish. You're thinking about yourself. And you don't care about others. Okay, fine. Go to hell. Let me steal you. No. Let him suffer. So there's selfishness. That is why it is bad. So intuitively we know that to think about oneself and being selfish is bad. Always. That's what I was telling Alejandro. Even he could understand, no? Yeah. Even a child can understand. Okay, sharing is good. Yeah, it's good. You don't need science for that. Everybody understands that. Why? Because we have this knowledge in our soul. It is there. This knowledge is there with us. It is there with us. That yes, selfishness is bad. There's something problem with that. And selflessness is good. Oh, you understand? Mm-hmm. So, of course, So that's why I told, sometimes you don't need science, you need common sense. And you need more than common sense, you need introspection. You need to introspect. And you can understand truth very easily. That's why many saints, they used to go to forest, they used to meditate, and they used to understand knowledge. How? Without experiments, no? What is this? This is wisdom, no? This is called wisdom. Wisdom comes from introspection. By seeing what's happening around you. Just applying your mind. But people are not able to understand these small and common sense things because they don't have time. They don't think about this. Nobody thinks about that, no? Just like now you're giving 1 hour to think about this. What is this class? I'm not giving you a lecture. You're coming here and thinking. Okay, these things are happening and this is natural and now we should do that, no? So that's Krishna's advice. Do good things. Good things means at least start with selfless activities. Don't do selfish activities. So you'll be good. So now, by doing good, what you learn? By charity, what you learn? You learn how to be selfless, no? At least you understand this. So when one day of your life, you meet a saint, and saint says, okay, do something for God. It'll click. Because you have already learned what you mean by selfless activities. You have already learned to like selflessness, no? So then you will think, come on, I understand, we should not do everything for ourselves and we should do for others. So the saints and scripture says, okay, if you do for others, you feel so happy. He has got that realization, no? Okay, he says, I feel happy because when I do charity, I've been practicing since a long time charity. I've been helping poor people and I feel so happy for that. I don't feel so happy if I do for myself. I have understood that by practice. Then he says, if you feel happy, if you're doing for others, how much happiness you feel when you do for God? Now you start doing. And you'll say, okay, fine. So let me try that. But if you're bad means if you're selfish, then you will not be able to understand what you mean by doing for God. You understand because you don't have that realization of doing for others. Is it? So it's good. That's why Krishna says, okay, do good things. Gives you, that is also recommended here because practicing of giving up fruits of one activities, one is sure to purify mind gradually. In that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. You get this point? So we don't need to become good and then do devotion. This option is given for those who cannot escape from the house and they have to jump. That's all. But if you can directly take to devotion, automatically you will become good. Because you are in connection with God. God is all good. And we see all saints. I mean to say genuine saints, not hypocrites. You see in Christianity, you see in Hinduism, you see in Buddhism, all saints. They were par excellence, no? Their morals, their ethics, their sacrifice, their mind free of lust, anger, greed. We all know, we have seen all these people and in history they are recorded. How did they achieve all these things? Just by connecting themselves to God. So one option is go from down to up, bottom up approach. Another option is top bottom approach. You understand? So bottom up approach is for those who cannot go to top immediately. But if you're going to go top, forget it, So Prabhupada used to say, if you have to go to the 4th floor, there are stairs and an elevator. What do you choose? Elevator. No, you don't choose stairs. You'll be foolish. If you want to go to exercise, that's true. If you want to do exercise, yeah. But if the building is 120 floors, even if you don't do exercise, you don't do that because you choose elevators. Only fools will go by stairs. So that's the point, If you can directly take to devotion, that's the best. And you get everything from God. But if people who cannot take, okay, if the lift is not working anyway, you have to go to top floor to do your office work. You have to go, and you might become tired. You might not be able to approach. You might get heart attacks, whatever. But anyway, there's no option. So fine, do that. So that's why Prabhupada is saying Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience. Because Krishna consciousness can itself purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up results of his action. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country may be accepted so that someday one may come to stage of pure devotional service to Supreme Lord. See? Such an important statement. So social service, community service, national service, service for one's country, people understand, no, this is good. So Krishna is saying it may be accepted because by doing this, there are chances that you may come to the platform of devotional service. There are chances. It might not, but there are chances. So to a certain extent, they are accepted. But the point to note here is, they are not ends in themselves. Okay, we are doing service for our nation. Now people argue that okay, fine, you are doing service for God, we are doing service for nation. That's okay. Keep on doing your job, I'll keep on doing my job. No, they put all these on same level. It's not on same level. Prabhupada says that you can, so that one day you may come to the stage of pure devotional service. Idea of all this service, national service, community service, family service, is to understand the concept of service. And when you understand the concept of service, then it's very easy to understand God, because then you can serve God. Is it? So, but if you don't have a concept of service, it's very difficult to make people understand what is service. Just like, for example, I'll just tell you. For example, if there's a person, okay, fine, I'll give you an example. So there's a disease, Parkinson's disease, Parkinson's disease. And so in Parkinson's disease, all emotions are gone. Your emotions die. You become like a machine. So, okay, fine. If suppose, I'll give you a hypothetical case. If suppose you find a person, he has no emotions. That person, no, cold-hearted persons, no emotions. He can't feel anything. And you say, you have to love God. Will you understand? He'll say, come on, what is love, Or suppose, okay, fine. Suppose if you take Terminator. You know Terminator, no?
What?
Terminator movie, Terminator.
Okay.
No, he was a machine, no, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you tell you to love God. First he'll ask, what is love? No, that's what he was asking in entire movie, he was not feeling emotions, and that girl he was trying, this is tears, he was trying to explain, but you can understand. So, there's not a concept of love. So first you have to explain love, then you can explain what is love of God, no? But as a human, you have a concept of love, no? Loving people. So when we say love God, you can understand, okay, fine, I understand love, I have to take this love and repose in God. So similarly, national service, community service, social service, family service, it might help in the sense that when you say you have to serve God, you can understand, yeah, I understand, that's simple, no? I am serving this, I have to serve God. That is spirituality. But people who don't know what is service, for them it makes no sense, no? So that is why scripture says, if you cannot do anything, at least start with this service. You get the concept of service. You get the concept of sacrifice, because in service you have to sacrifice. You have to work for others, no? Sacrifice your time. You get the concept of responsibility. If you have to serve, you have to be responsible. So then afterwards, if you come in contact with saints and you have a good fortune to understand scriptures, then you can repose this service attitude towards God. Things become easy. You get the point? But if you can directly serve God, that's the best. That's the best. That's all. You save time. If you develop your faith by associating with saints. Simple. Now, does it mean that you don't have to serve your family if you're serving God? That's another question, no? Does it mean you have to serve your nation if you're serving God? Now, are you understanding my question? Somebody can argue. No. If you serve God, then you know how to serve people. Automatically. Because when you serve God, you attach yourself to God, you can understand everybody is part and parcel of God. And you serve people more, actually, because then you're serving everybody. And you know how to serve and what to serve. Because when you're not connected to God and you're serving people, then you might think, okay, fine, I want to serve people, okay, fine. How should I serve people, okay? That's the question. Okay, let me give them food. Let me give them clothes. Is it? Or let me help them, they're in problem. I'll take to hospital. Fine, you're doing these things. But when you connect yourself to God, now this is bottom-up approach. And you meet a saint, and then he says, serve God. Okay, now I understand I can serve God. Now there's top-bottom approach. You start serving God. Now when you start serving God, then you understand God and you understand everything belongs to God. Everything is part and parcel. And if everything is part and parcel, if I am serving God, I should serve His people also, no? That's obvious, no? But how to serve? Let me give them God consciousness. If I give them food, food will get finished. How much time will you give? If I give them clothes, it will get finished. It's better to if a child is lost, it's better to take the child to his parents. Parents will take care. This is one option. Another option is you keep the child with yourself and give him food, shelter, and keep on doing everything for him. What's the best? To the parents, they will. You might care for him, but their care is different. They will die for him. So similarly, if you're God conscious, then you want to serve His people. How do you serve? Okay, fine. Best service is connect them to God. Take the child to parent, and he will take care. No problems. That's the best service. So now you know how to serve them. Previously, when you were not connected with God, you were trying to understand by your own mind what to do. But many times if you serve people by your own idea, it might create problems, because if you give food to somebody, suppose somebody is hungry, if you give them food, if they eat food and they become strong, proteins, they become strong. And if their mind is impure, when they become strong, what they'll do? Violent. They'll fight, no? They'll fight. They'll kill. They'll loot. So you have helped him to actually loot somebody without your knowledge. You were trying to do good. That's okay. Your intention was good, but the result was bad. You understand? And this happened in Africa. There was a war. I forgot. So there was a tension in Africa. A lot of tension. There were I forgot that place. Two tribes, and they were fighting. Two sects. And America wanted to help Africa. This is a real history. It happened just 20 years back. And then America started giving AIDS, because people were fighting, people were dying. So America, okay, fine, we'll help. So they were giving food to that party and this party both. They were taking food, AIDS. And you know what? That war continued for 10 years more. Why? Because of AIDS. If there were no AIDS, that war would have finished. But because these people were getting AIDS, and of course they were having this enviousness in their heart, they didn't get rid of enviousness, no? So they were fighting with each other. So they were getting AIDS. Okay, we are fine, food, shelter, and now we'll fight now. So sometimes by a small intelligence, we might do good, but the result might be bad. Einstein, he wanted to do good. He was not a bad person. He was a good scientist. He invented E is equal to mc square. What was the result? Atom bomb. And Einstein really regretted. And then he regretted. He told, I didn't know that these people will use my equations like this. Otherwise, I would not have invented this. So, we can do good, but our intelligence is so small. We don't know future, Things turn out another way. So, the best thing is to give people God consciousness, because the result is never bad. Until unless there is politics, that's another thing. Politics is a different thing, no? But if you give proper God consciousness, result is always good. Because if you connect him to God, he is free of lust, he is free of anger, he is free of enviousness, he is free of bodily demands. He can be satisfied in less. His problems are solved. No? Many of the problems are solved if you are self-satisfied. No? So, and moreover, he understands God and perfects his life. So you see, bottom-up approach, there are problems. There are problems in bottom-up approach. You might do good, you can learn selflessness, you can learn service, but at the same time, when you try to do good for people, the result might be bad. But top-bottom approach is good. When you connect yourself to God, and then you serve people, and you know how to serve them, give them God consciousness, you connect them to parent, they will be self-satisfied, they will be happy, they can lead their life in less, they have less demands, and no theft, no violence. They can understand God, perfect their life, go back to God. It solves all problems. It's in one stroke, You get a tree, and you try to what Prabhupada says, try to put water to leaf, to branch, to fruits. Better is put water to the root. Everything gets water itself, no? Is it? So better is serve God, and everything becomes perfect. Because you are with perfect person, no? So that's what Krishna is saying here in this verse. I think it's finished now. We finished? Yeah, in Bhagavad Gita 1846 we find it is stated, Yataha pravirtir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by that sacrificial method. So when you start serving God, you might be in any position, but if you have a concept of God, if you start serving Him, slowly all truths will be revealed to you. When you get pure, when you get realizations. Actually, it's very easy to understand God. It's not difficult. It's very easy. But the problem is we don't give time. Or we are skeptic. No? That's what we were having discussion yesterday in the seminar. That boy was saying, well, life comes from interaction of complex molecules. So they are not even open to understand this and practice this, no? Because they have blinded, No, it's like that. But the point is, there are doubts in his mind, no? No, fine, it's like that. But the point is, it's his belief, no? That's a belief, life comes from molecules, no? It's not proved. It's not shown. It's a belief. You're trying to prove your belief scientifically. That's another proposal. It's not science. Nobody has seen life comes from complex molecules, no? Anybody has seen? So they believe that light comes from complex molecules. There's no experience, there's no observation, there is no incidence where you have observed life comes from molecules. We have observed that you pass electricity, there is light. Okay, this is science. Well, you are not observed at any time life comes from molecules, but still you believe. It's a belief, but you are trying to prove it scientifically. Okay. Now that was his problem. So, and then they don't want to follow this process because they say we are belief, but you're also a belief now. You understand? That's a belief. Okay, if yours is belief, ours is belief, then yours is also belief. Yours is a belief that God doesn't exist. How can you prove that He doesn't exist? You can't prove that. Science cannot prove that. No. Science cannot prove that God exists. Science cannot also show that God does not exist. So it's a belief that it's from Big Bang. It's a belief that life comes from chemicals. Everything is matter. Okay, fine. So it's your belief. You're doing some experiment to justify your belief, scientific experiments. It is our belief. That's what I told. It is our belief. We have experiment. You follow this process, you see for yourself. Our experiment is better. Because their experiments can be done by few scientists. And you can't understand any damn thing. No? Even if today scientist says, okay, we have found Big Bang Theory, quarks and all these things. A common man can't understand any damn thing. You have to believe them. But here, Our experiment, even you can do, even a child can do. And you do. It's very simple to understand. You're not soul, you're not body, you're soul, and there is God. You have to follow. You can understand easily. You can understand yourself. It's intuitive. Just like charity is intuitive, this is an intuitive knowledge. You can yourself understand by following. Knowledge and realization comes together. It will come. You're convinced. That's why many people were following. We follow. Even if entire world tell us there's no God, we are going to believe. Come on, this is crazy, entire world tells, forget soul, your body. Come on, this is madness. We have realization that we are more peaceful. We led that life. And we are leading this life. We can compare and we are more peaceful, we are more happy. You have not led our life. So why don't you try? That's all, finished. But they don't want to try. That's the problem. They don't want. They are blocked. They are blocked. They are blocked by the belief, not by rationality. That's also a belief.
Maybe because they refuse to stop enjoying other stuff. So
they are what?
They refuse to stop enjoying other things.
Who they? Who they? They, all the people, huh? Okay.
Because start believing in God and start doing, follow rules and regulations. Many times means
okay.
have to stop
Okay,
doing
I
things,
understand. Okay,
right?
yeah.
So people don't want to.
Yeah, people. Yeah. That's one of the reason. If you start believing, and then you have to follow rules and regulations, and you stop enjoying certain things. So I don't want to stop my enjoyment. Come on. So yeah, that's another thing. So that is also a factor. If you're infatuated, infatuated. You understand infatuated? If you are overtaken with that flow of enjoyment, materialism, it's very difficult to come to this and that's another obstacle. Because I think, come on, I have to leave this. I'll live in my enjoyment. Oh, when Prabhupada went to one of his Prabhupada's god brother, he went to Europe, and they were giving a lecture, and they told, see, if you want to understand God, okay, stop meat eating. If you want to understand God, stop meat eating. You can't kill somebody and at the same time understand God. And stop gambling, stop intoxication. Fine. So that one person raised his hand, some European, he said, come on, that's what we are doing. If we stop all these things, how we are supposed to live? You're asking us to stop those things. Without this, I can't imagine a life. That's what you're saying, no? So then they told, come on, we can't follow you. That's all. So that's the point. But you know what? But the point is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, rules and regulations do not come first. It is fanaticism to tell that you have to follow rules and regulations, and then you can come to spirituality. No, nobody says. What we say? We say, you understand Gita, chant Hare Krishna. No, that's experiment. Experiment begins with rules and regulations. Right? First day nobody says no. You chant Hare Krishna, come to class, understand this knowledge. Automatically you will understand the necessity of rules and regulations. And that happens in Krishna consciousness. In first day comes, we don't tell him, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, no weed eating. What we say? Chant Hare Krishna, no? We say like that in lecture, read Gita, understand. Slowly when he chants Hare Krishna, reads lecture, automatically he understands, yes, following these rules and regulations is good for me. It's not force. People think that's a wrong understanding. Right from first day you have to leave enjoyment. Who is saying you leave enjoyment? You taste higher enjoyment and you will automatically leave lower enjoyment. That's the process. Process is not suppression. And this concept of suppression and leaving enjoyment, that was propagated by philosophers. Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, Kierkegaard, they said religion is suppression. You have to suppress your enjoying propensity. Okay, we don't want to live enjoying, we want to live enjoying, so forget this religion. But this Gita says, Krishna says, experiencing higher taste, you leave lower taste. That's the process. So we say, okay, fine, we can't follow rules and regulations, no problem. You chant, you understand, you will experience a higher taste. You will experience peace and satisfaction. Automatically you will leave everything. Automatically. So it's a fallacy, it's a misunderstanding.
So also when people, let's say one is skeptical.
Skeptical, yeah,
Okay.
skeptical.
And start chanting Hare Krishna without the mood.
Without the mood, yeah. Yeah, okay. Still you get effect.
Yeah.
Because there are many people, many hippies were there, Prabhupada's time. Prabhupada said, simply chant Hare Krishna. They were chanting Hare Krishna. Automatically, God's name has power, It's not a sound. It has having power. Automatically, after 2 months, some hippies, they came to Prabhupada, they said, they became afraid because they said, we didn't take drugs for 2 months. What happened to us? And they couldn't even imagine that they didn't take drugs for 2 months because they were feeling higher taste, no? So God's name works in ways which are inconceivable to human mind. It'll make us purified. And so that's an example 30 years back. But I'll give you recent example. My brother, he's a surgeon in Boston. So I told him, so he was eating meat. So I didn't tell him leave meat. I told, okay, you read Gita. Chant Hare Krishna, one round, that's all. Proof will come itself. He started chanting, he started reading Gita. And then he told me after a month, brother, I don't feel like eating meat. Something happened to me. I don't know. Whenever I see meat, it feels odd. Then I asked him, did you read in Bhagavad Gita that you should not eat meat? He said, no, I didn't come across all these things. I was just chanting, having Bhagavad Gita, and somehow it doesn't seems logical, killing somebody. You see, mercy is intuitive, no? But due to the social structure, we don't think about these things. We are just in gadgets. But when you chant, you go inside yourself. And automatically that knowledge within us, it is revealed to us. It is always in us. So then we understand what is mercy. And then he can understand it's not good to kill. He left. So that's automatically you can understand. It's not a big thing. So skeptics are wrong in that way. They don't want to follow. There's a simple process.
Yeah, the people yesterday, not just yesterday, but even whenever we encounter very aggressive skeptics, I don't know if they are, they don't want to leave enjoyment. Actually, they've already left enjoyment because they are aggressively pursuing to disprove
many of them, yeah.
Other things, right? They are so focused on
many of them.
reading science and all that. They have already left enjoyment. It's more about, I think, enviousness. They cannot accept themselves something higher. That's what I feel.
Maybe that they have the club Prabhuji, so they wanted to.
No, that's okay. That's always there. But the point is, yes. Anyway, they are called skeptics because they're narrow-minded. They're not broad-minded. They can't see a thousands of years of tradition of saints. Probably they have never read life history of saints. If you read life history of saints, which person will say that they were bad people? Nobody is going to say that, no? Every saint, they were so merciful to people, so loving. No, you read life history of saints. They could sacrifice their life. They were selfless. Who doesn't want to become like that? Who wants to choose a life which you're selfish, you're full of lust, anger, envy, greed? They can't see a simple point because of science. You're a scientist, come on. Before scientists, you're humans, Is it? So that's called, the society is in a different mood. That flow, they are with the flow. So that's the problem there.
So, Prabhu, So now to find selflessness is very rare.
Yeah, it's rare because we are trained. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
We are trained from childhood. Survival of the fittest. You are machines. You have to survive. There's nothing called as emotions. No soul. He's a machine. She's a machine. Have to survive. That's all. Finish. And money, success. That's what we are talking. We are trained like that. It is a philosophical tradition which came from France. Renaissance was precisely this. This was a philosophy, materialism, which has taken over entire world, and now we can't think of any other thing. If you speak of spirituality, people are skeptic from outside. So we are trained like that.
Yeah, I think the problem is caused because, at least in my experience, I don't know for other people, but the reason because I didn't like religion before is because of many things I saw. And then also I just decided, I got married with a...
Yeah.
And then I decided that I didn't want my kids to get into that because I didn't want they get trained in that way. Following a kind of religious thing.
Blind thing. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
blindly.
Yeah, because they just tell you what to do, but you exactly, when I was in this religion, I was not exactly thinking, and when I started thinking is when I just stopped.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And then it's what I didn't like, and it's what is happening with many people in religions become fanaticism because they don't really think.
They don't give explanations.
So they think they believe in God and they think they are doing good things, and many times they do, but many others.
Yeah, it happens with everybody. It happened with me also. I told you, so I left.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. That's where we are preaching. We are telling people there's a logic, there's a philosophy. Try to understand this. So partly it's problem with people, partly it's not problem with people. Flow is like that. Situation is very bad now.
Yeah.
So we have to help people.
I have a last question. What do you do when you try to serve people with to attain to enjoyment with higher expectation, and then what you give to them is not enough?
Example. Can you give me example?
For example, if it happens that sometimes you enjoy the simple things, right? If people is getting used to enjoying Orlando and this park, right? And you want to take them to just a garden, they are not going to enjoy the beautiful.
Okay, yeah.
Garden,
So
right?
so how?
Because they are used
They want used to extreme. Yeah. They used to that kind of enjoyment.
Yeah, they don't see the value of what you're
Okay,
doing.
so
Because it's so this meaningless.
So what do you do? What's your question?
How do you serve to these people who wants more than? You are not in when people is not in the same level of this person,
Well, you have to make them understand. That's what you can do.
Make them understand.
Yeah, make them understand that kind of enjoyment is not good for you. If they can't understand, everybody cannot understand these things, no? So if you can leave them, that's okay. Leave them. They'll understand themselves. Or, Srila Prabhupada says, ask them to chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said, Kirtan is for masses. Ask them to chant God's name. Automatically they'll understand by the power of holy name that these things, for example, going in a park, that nature is better than Orlando maybe, whatever. So people who don't have logic, make them understand. If they can understand, give them Hare Krishna, chant, prasad, they give. It will purify their mind. So you can do one thing. In your house you can make food, offer to God, and give it to your children and husband, and it will work. Because I've seen personally in my experience, you're not the first person. There are many families like that. And we tell them, okay, don't tell them that you're offering. You offer, and then you mix food, and then tell them this is food. That's all. It's food. Take food, accept meat, of course, and give them, and then it will purify their mind. It's going to work. That helps. So for these people, many people, we can. That's why we distribute prasad. In streets we go. When they take, it purifies them. Why it purifies them? Because when we cook for God, our consciousness enters food. That's the science. If the people who cook food, their consciousness enters the food. Now science cannot understand this now, but this happens. So whatever thoughts you have while cooking, that will enter food. People who will eat those food, that same thoughts will be transferred to him. So, and that is experiments also done by science. Scientists are trying to understand what's this. But the experiments done, in India there was an experiment. People were eating bread, and in a particular section of community they were becoming violent. More fights, more criminal cases. So like people were trying to understand what's happening, So then they saw that actually these breads were made by criminals in the jail. And they were supplied on the outlet. So, and then these people were eating, normal, ordinary people, and they were getting subconsciously they were getting violent thoughts, frustrated, and so many people have done these studies. And so if we make for God, that we are making for God, at that time. Our consciousness is God consciousness. So that enters food. When it will go in that person, subconsciously it will affect him. He'll get good thoughts. Slowly he'll get pure. That's all we can do. Help them like that. Is it okay? You wanted to ask this?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Okay, so I personally feel that I can exactly know what that person is thinking when he's cooking. Anybody cooks. Because we have become pure, like little bit pure by practice. So I can tell, if person cooks, I can tell what he was thinking while cooking. I can tell what his life is all about. By eating one bite, I can tell what is going in his mind. Many people can tell that, who are practiced. They can tell. Many saints could tell that very easily when they tasted food. So just like in Sikhism, you know Sikhism?
Yes.
Yeah, Sikhs. So they had one guru, they had the spiritual master. So there was one saint in that line, and he went somewhere and somebody gave him some chapati, and he took one bite, and he told that don't let that person meet me, because he's sinful, he is doing adultery with his daughter, and get him out. I don't want to see his face. People asked, how do you know? He told, come on, I can understand by eating this. His thoughts were there. Many people are like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he once ate food, and then he told who made this food. Then they told, okay, this guy, this Shiki Mahiti, was one person he made. So he told, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him now, because that person was a renunciate, and he could understand that when he begged for the food, he had lust in his mind. From whom he took food, that female he saw with a bad intention, and that thing came in food, and he could understand he will get lost. There's a science. There's a big science. Of course, if science doesn't understand, it doesn't mean it is not scientific. No, he can't understand many things. That's why I prefer to cook my own food. I prefer my hand. because different people have different levels of devotion, no? So you can affect it. Many saints, they cook themselves. If you see tradition of spiritual people, they don't prefer cooked by other people who are not practicing devotion. We don't take who are not practicing good level. We don't take from them because we get affected. I mean to say, those people might say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, anyway." But it matters to us a lot. It matters to us when somebody have to go out. Sometimes we are forced to eat somewhere. No, like I'm traveling, you can't cook, you're hungry, or sometimes somebody will make and give. He'll offer, but he'll make and give. But his devotional standard is not good. So sometimes you have to eat. So I eat, and then it's difficult. Your mind is, I can understand what's happening. I can understand. I was in Columbus just now, before here, and there I came from flight. I didn't have anything to cook. If you're staying in hotel, what do you have? So some Mataji, she cooked, and she told, I offered to Krishna, but she was not chanting. She was not devotional. But anyway, one day I did fasting, but next day I was about to faint. I have to eat something. So I ate a little bit just to survive, not to enjoy. So I ate something. But then immediately I could understand that she's having trouble in his life. And then I asked her, is there any trouble with you? You seem to be really messed up. You seem to be really anxious. First she didn't tell me. Of course, we'll tell. But then I asked her, I told, see, you can tell me frankly because I'm a saint. I'm not an ordinary person. I'm not going to talk all these things everywhere. And she told, I'm having a lot of problems. It's like that. So it's a prasada's power. It has power. So you can try that.
But when you offer to Krishna, that it's like being taken out.
See, you offer to Krishna, but people who are not practicing, people who are not have good devotion, their offering is also not proper, So it depends with what consciousness you're offering. So there is some portion, which is always left. If you're offering purely, then it becomes pure, no consciousness. But if your consciousness is not proper, then it will affect you. What to do?
So you never eat in other people's house?
Until unless they're devotees. They have to be devotees. I don't take. Because it's not because of me, because if I don't save myself, I can't serve others, no. If I am only messed up, what I'll explain others. I have to save my realizations, no. So that's why we don't take. Until unless they are devotees. If they chant, I take, no problem. But they have to chant. Even if they chant 2-3 rounds, no problem. Not 16. They chant some rounds, they read Gita, and they understand Krishna is supreme, then there is no problem. You can take. Otherwise, we don't touch. And it helps them. We tell them, and in India, if you don't take in somebody's house, they feel very bad. I don't know about Spanish culture, I think.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, come on, they came to my house and they didn't take food. So we tell them, we tell them, we are sorry, we can't take, but we want to take. It's not that we don't love you, we like you. So, we'll take, you chant 1 round, and next time we'll come and take, no problem. You do this service to us. You chant holy name, read Gita, next time I have to come, cook, offer, and I'll take. So in the process they learn. Because they want to give us, then they feel, like saint has gone without eating, and then they become devotees. So it's good for them. It's good on our overall thing. So it's like that. Okay. Thank you for listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.